Okay, I'm gonna try to be making these videos every day. I've said that before though, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so Mad Apes Gambles channel on Telegram. This is what I'm only trading right now. I'm gonna check on what is new that I can jump in. So like I said, I started with, I don't know, maybe around $1,500 to $2,000, and I'm only throwing down 0.05 SOL per buy, as you can see here. Okay, sometimes I break the rules, but every time I broke the rules, it bites me in the ass. So I'm just sticking to 0.05 per buy and no more than 3 buy downs per call that they make. And like I said before in an earlier video, like most of these charts perform. So it's kind of like a numbers game. And that's kind of how I'm looking at it. I'm trying to get in every single one that they call on Solana. And if I stick to these numbers and I set limit orders to buy in at the right entries, they usually sell the initial pretty quick and then they get into profit. And the ones that didn't get into profit out of all my positions, it was because I broke my rules, which was buying down too many times and also buying too large. So like instead of buying 0.05 SOL, I would maybe buy 0.1 SOL, which is like $12, and I'd maybe buy down like 5 times, which is $60 total. And some of those like haven't bounced back yet. So it is eating up a lot of my capital when I broke those rules. I didn't sell those ones yet. They're still down. Some are like 4K market cap, which a lot of them will bounce back because they have this call history in Mad Apes, and it kind of like it makes these tokens on like another level than just like pump fund tokens, you know, that just launched, because this group is behind it that has 100,000 people in it. And a lot of these people are good traders, and I can tell. And a lot of them don't fully kill the charts, or they do die, but like they bounce back. And then when they bounce back, Mad Apes Gambles will call them again. So if there's new action on it, then they bounce even farther sometimes. But I want to avoid letting all my capital be used up like that. And I'm waiting on positions to pop off that are down like $60 or something. I don't want to go there right now, especially with a portfolio of this size, right? If I had a lot more, it'd be different. But you don't really want to be betting more than like 1 to 2% per position. And $60, that was maybe, I guess, 3%. Whatever. My point is, I don't want to go over 1% when I'm throwing in something. Because then it ties up capital if they don't pop off right away, is what I'm getting at. So when I have 0.05, 3 buy downs, that's total 0.15. That's like $18 total I'm risking on each position. Okay, so here's a new one that they just posted, 2x 240k. I'm gonna go check it out right here. This one's called let's see, Bank, 166 market cap. See, I'm gonna just jump in right now because it's at a low price, and then I'm gonna do my charting because I don't want to miss it if it does shoot up from here, because it's at a pullback. So this is usually what I do. I'll buy a 0.5 right away, 0.05. And then I look at the chart. Okay, so we're at a resistance right here. We haven't fully hit it yet, it looks like. And then this pattern here, it looks broadening. Is it? Oh, hard to say. If this was a broadening pattern, that would be a reversal pattern, but it's hard to say. It could be a wedge. We got to see how it plays out. 1, 2, 3. See, if this has 3 rising valleys, sometimes it'll break upwards, and this could be one. We'll see. There it goes. So it was a 3 rising valleys, and it also shows this broadening pattern here. So both of those patterns are reversal patterns, and they always break the height of the structure. So that's exactly what just happened. That's showing a bullish divergence still up here. So this bullish divergence means that this breakout could go even farther. Maybe this turns into a bull flag or something. Oh, just like that. So that's why I love looking at the RSI. It kind of just tells you where the price is going to go if you really look at it carefully. I'm just going to let that be for now because it's the first one I looked at since I got back home. Don't want to get too excited here. And I got a tiny position in. This is a new one I haven't got in. Let's see what it is. It was posted about an hour ago. Ooh, it's down at 10K. So this looks like something like most people wouldn't want to get into, but if you just look at it carefully, sometimes there's opportunity in these, especially after they've been in the Mad Apes group. 16. Okay, so big bullish divergence there. Bullish divergence right here too. So I don't know much about this, but I'm gonna buy one in quick before it pumps. Okay, so I bought this one, which is at 9,000 market cap, and its top was 72,000. I think that means that's where it bonds. I don't know, it might be higher these days, but a lot of the time it will sell off after it bonds, and then a lot of the time it won't pump if it's just a good old pump token. But this was called in Mad Apes, so you can maybe expect a bounce, and that's why throwing in 0.5 can't hurt. Unless it can hurt and that's all you have, but you know what I mean. Okay, see this here? This is a bullish divergence. Many will say that the chart is so fresh and new that this bullish divergence doesn't matter, but I believe in them and they have helped me many times. But yeah, it's true. Like someone could come and dump a shitload and put this thing to like 2K market cap in any second. But the fact of the matter is I see this broadening pattern here too. You can see broadening wedge and see how it's riding that upper trend line there. That means it's itching to break out right now. And it would break out up to 20K market cap. So that's like a 2x. Here, I'm going to put on the log chart just so it's a little more accurate. It almost did break through. Yeah, so when you see a huge sell-off and then you see a broadening wedge like that at the bottom, that's a bullish reversal pattern. Of course, you got to be careful because it's freshly launched. And like I said, anyone can nuke it that has a decent sized position. But even if it got nuked, it would probably still stay in this structure, which means it's still bullish. So I think this thing's going to break out soon. And if it nukes, it'll probably break out later on. So this is when I just trust my TA and leave it. So this will bounce up to here probably. And I will come back and check on that later. And there's another bullish divergence right there. And then here. Okay, I'm going to move on now to another call. Let's see what they got going. Pretty sure I got all my capital tied up. Phone or Hans? Do I see phone somewhere in there? Papu, Fireball, Hones, maybe that's what I saw. This is a new one I haven't seen. Okay, I'm gonna go check this one out, let that other one play. This one's at 300K market cap. Let's start with some resistance and support. And oh yeah, log chart. I always forget to do that. Okay. Log chart. Okay, I see a giant wedge here already. So see this here? That's one big old wedge. And it's riding the trend line, which means it could be trying to break down. Let's check the RSI. Here's a little bullish divergence here. So this is probably going to pump again before it gets bearish. So probably pump up to 330K. I mean, if you're trying to scalp, you could just get in and out on this one here. But I got limited capital right now, so I'm gonna set some buy downs instead. Here's an even bigger wedge. Oh yeah, I see a big old bearish divergence too there. And then here on the RSI, see how the tops go in opposite directions. So the momentum and the price action go in the opposite direction, which means the buy momentum's slowing. So I think this wedge will drop. And the volume isn't like massive. So if it drops, it's going to do something like this. Yeah, it'll drop from 288K possibly down to 30,000 market cap. So that's like almost a 10x down, right? But if it's got some bullish support, it might not go all the way down there. I'm also seeing that it did create 3 higher highs too. So like sometimes those break upwards, but there is no bullish divergence really. So I'm not gonna hold my breath for that. I'm gonna expect this thing to drop maybe. And I see that this is maybe forming a broadening pattern here after a steep sell-off, which usually breaks downwards. And if that broke downward, it'd probably hit this trend line and then possibly break down. So I'm gonna set some buys. Down here, here, and here. Okay, so like if I'm gonna do my 3 buy downs, 100K, or let's see, 115K, 60K market cap, and then I'll do another one at 32K or 30. I'll just do 30. 115K because like I got limited capital. I might just try to scoop those lower ones, to be honest. I think this thing might do a little fucking sell-off too. Because like this is also a broadening top pattern right here, which means it should break down the height of that, which would be like, yeah, which would literally go to like 7K market cap. So I think the lower ones are good targets for this. So I'm going to do 60K and 30K. 60K M cap. And then I'm going to do another one at 30K. So that's 0.1 total. Which is 0.5% of a $2,000 portfolio. So risky. No, I'm kidding. But it can feel like it when you have like over 100 open positions, right? And you're waiting for some of them to pop off. Okay, let's see what else we got going on. Ooh, I don't know about this one. That's new too. Ooh, this one's like rock bottom, man. Look at that. Went up to 300K. Like, I might jump in this just because it's so fucking low. Let's see what this shows. Let's. Alright, well, the shape of it is nice. So it did break structure, which is bullish. And it looks like, yeah, it looks like a bullish divergence here. That's up. That's down. Okay, a very small one, but that's a good sign too. This U shape here, this inverse head and shoulders, that's also bullish. So right now I think it's just chilling on this resistant line. And we'll probably go upwards soon. 1.1 million in volume, that's a lot. 3,000 versus 500 holders. So there could have been some or fake volume or like volume bots running this thing, and maybe that's why it sold off so quick. But at the same time, it was called on Mad Apes, so very good chance it's going to bounce back. So it's a good one to get into, I'd say, at this level. Yeah, I'm going to get a bid in there. So close to having 0.5. I'll buy 0.4. Alright, buy. And when they're this low, at like a 12K market cap, I often adjust my take profit levels. It depends what it is. I don't know if I will for this one, but I mean, if this thing were to break out, it should do something like this, up to 80,000. So that's like a 7x, right? Right. So instead of trying to get my initial back at like 50%, 75%, and then 100% take profit level, I can bump that shit up if I'm willing to wait for this breakout target, which of course is risky on something that just launched. But again, I got faith in this group. I also got faith that it's Christmas and it's slow right now, and after Christmas is over, people are going to jump back into these charts, like, because they stay in the group. Like, Mad Apes doesn't delete this shit, and people see that, and then when they pump again, they get posted again. So if I were to adjust these levels, I'd go to start, limit orders, go up here to the first one, edit. Instead of 18,000 market cap, maybe, let's see, the last resistance level was like 35,000. So maybe I'll do 25,000. 5K cap. I'm keeping it still pretty conservative because I don't know what this thing's gonna do, and my capital's low. 5. I'll edit this one. I'll put this one like 30K cap. Okay, see, now it's going down a bit, and that's when I leave the freaking chart because I don't want to watch that, right? That's when I start to make dumb decisions. I just got to have faith in my analysis here, which of course is risky always. But that's the name of the game.